Hello and welcome to the first episode. I'm Billyana and today we're going through some of your most frequently asked questions. I'm joined by Ella and Raj and Amy and Charlie. And before we get into it, they're going to introduce themselves and then we'll get it rolling. So,
hi, I'm Ella. I'm a recruitment marketing apprentice at Capgemini.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Raj. I'm a data analyst at Capgemini.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a software engineer degree apprentice at Capgemini.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm a business management degree apprentice at Capgemini.
We're going to jump straight into the questions. Thank you to everyone who sent in their questions, especially to Amelia and Mohammed who won our prizes. And we're going to start with Mohammed's question, which is, out of all the apprenticeships and all the other companies, why did you choose to do an apprenticeship with Capgemini?
I'll take this one. I think, lucky for me, I knew what I wanted to do. I thought, why prolong getting into the industry or the job that I want to do and go to uni? I understand for other people in specific job roles, there's no other option other than going to uni. But what's best and what's kind of an advantage to me, not only do I get to work and learn at the same time in parallel, I also get that experience. And by the time people finish uni, the level of experience I'll have compared to what they will have, I may be the more likely candidate.
I completely agree, because experience was like a really big part of it for me as well. That is pretty much why I wanted to do an apprenticeship. So do you guys have any builds on that?
Yeah, I'd say a big one for me is that I'm dyslexic, and always being in an education environment, I've always kind of had that support, whether it be extra time an exam or just have someone I could go to if I was struggling in school. So being in a big corporate environment, I wanted to know, what support is out there for me, and if there was. And obviously doing my research into Capgemini, I found out that, there is support out there, and I was lucky enough that I'd had friends at that point that worked at Capgemini who told me that there was support. And when I did my assessment centre, I was lucky enough to speak to someone there that knew a lot about it. And obviously at this point I didn't know I had the job at Capgemini. So when I had that conversation with her, I was like, this is the company for me. I know I'd get the support, and obviously being there now, for the time I've been there, I've had an endless amount of support, which has been so reassuring. And as my parents as well always said, like, I've got such a great job here, and the support I've been given is absolutely fantastic. So it's a confident thing that I'm at a company that can support my dyslexia and take me for who I am.
I love that though. I feel like it's a reoccurring theme with Capgemini that, apprentices overall feel very supported and valued, and, not just when you're on the program, but once you're, even throughout the hiring process and throughout it all, you feel very supported. So I love that. Okay, so I'm really interested to find out, because, I know what it was like for me personally, but what did people think when you chose the non-traditional route? Charlie?
Well, I'd say at first people were like, what is that? I think there's not a great deal of awareness about what goes into an apprenticeship, so I chose a degree apprenticeship. So I think when I explained to people, oh no, I'll be doing a degree, I'll be working alongside it, and there's a level of managing your time with that and all of that. But they said, okay, cool, that sounds great. But I think there also was a level of, a lot of my friends decided to go to uni, and I was one of the only people, and they were all picking out their accommodation, and I was still sort of doing my application processes. So I think there is a whole level of uncertainty with it. But, people had questions. Maybe I didn't necessarily know the answers, but I went away, I figured it out, and yeah, there's a good support system out there, which happy we're doing this today.
Did you maybe second guess yourself? Because I know other people around you, they chose to do something different to you. Did that make you second guess yourself, or did you always know this is what I want to do?
I was a bit funny in the sense that I was certain that's what I wanted to do. I think I had doubts if it was going to be possible.
Yeah.
But I think as I went along, I was very almost military with sorting out my deadlines and all of that. And yeah, like I said, finding people online who were doing similar things, or watching, online stuff on different things was really helpful. And then that sort of reassured me, okay, no, this is possible, and sort of pushed through to get there.
Yeah. What about you guys? Any Any opinions that you got?
Yeah, I was going to say, so I was in a friendship group of probably about 8 girls, and I was the only one that decided to go down the apprenticeship route. And like Charlie, I knew that I didn't want to go to uni. I knew 100% apprenticeships for me. I took a bit of time away from, so once I left school, I did sort of bit of work experience, internships before applying for a role at Cap, figured out that this was definitely what I wanted to do, which it was, and I've been here almost a year now, but I think it's, like you say, the self-doubt thing, making sure that it's 100% what you want to do, because I think it can be sort of there's a stigma around it that, oh, you get paid money and, you know, you're learning and earning. Yeah, you are, but you also have to work really, really hard. So there comes a point where you finished your normal day of work on a Friday evening, and then you go home and you might have to do the last of your uni assignment, or, you know, proofread the next, I don't know, whatever you've got to hand in. And that's sort of an expectation that Capgemini have of you, but I've never met an apprentice at Cap who's not felt supported with that.
Yeah, what about you, Raj?
I have to say that I was quite scared about the fact that the degree I would get from my apprenticeship wouldn't stack up to someone who's gone to university. It won't be as valuable.
Yeah.
So I was second guessing myself when I started right in the beginning, that how I made the wrong decision. Say if I wanted to move jobs, or say if I wanted to progress in my career, that essentially I wouldn't be able to do that. But after a bit of time, I realised that it's not so much the documentation you get, it's you as a person, what you bring to the table, what you understand.
I think what I'd add to that is I've always known that I want to get a degree. That's something that I've personally, one of my goals.
Yeah.
And to have that opportunity where, like everyone said, that I can work, apply my knowledge, what I'm learning at university, and get an experience. I think my degree altogether is 4.5 to 5 years long, which is a long time. But at the end of it, I'm going to have nearly 5 years of experience, and I'm going to have a degree at the end of it. And that's amazing, because you see people now that come out of universities, it takes them a year, maybe 2 years or longer to get a job. And, you know, I've got 5 years and a degree. So it's really important to me that I've been able to have the opportunity to study and work alongside of it. And like Ella said, the support and the flexibility that Capgemini give you is absolutely incredible. And I think I've had times where I've been like, oh God, I've got an assignment due, and I need it, it's due tomorrow, and I just need an hour at the end of the day, is it okay? And they've been supportive, like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it.
They'll be like, take 2.
Yeah, so take as much as you need. But the amount of apprentices that's gone through Capgemini, my manager was an apprentice.
Yeah.
And I've had 2 people in my team that have been apprentices, so they can relate to me so much, and that's what I value, that they get it. So you're not the only one, and there's that many people in our community. If you're struggling with an assignment or anything like that, put it in a chat. In 2 minutes, you've got someone, let's have a Teams call, and, or meet me in the office tomorrow, and we can go through the assignment together to help and support you. And that's what I absolutely love. It's the culture as well. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And you get a graduation too, don't you?
Yeah, I thought like we do if you were at university. I'm going to have a cap and gown
High school
moment.
musical.
Yeah. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. And I've got 3 years left, and I am so excited for that day.
Yeah.
Like I came in not straight out of college, so I was 21 when I started my degree, and I'll be 27 when I graduate. And that moment, it's going to be one of the special moments in my life.
Yeah.
I've just waited for it for so long, so I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the main reactions that kind of made me doubt myself a little bit, maybe for like 2 seconds or so, was my obviously my mom, because there's a lot of people there who don't really understand, like you said, what apprenticeships are about, or like you said, that, you know, is the degree on the same level, is the qualification that you get on the same level as if you were to go to university. And I really sat down and I did all my research, and I kid you not, created a PowerPoint to convince my mum this is why I'm doing this. And for me, I doubted myself, because I thought, you know, no one talks to you about these stuff at school or in sixth form, and they don't necessarily encourage you to go down that route. So for me, it was because there was no backup. I kind of had to just say, you know, this is my decision and I'll make it work. I don't know if you guys relate to that, but I'm guessing you do.
100%.
I mean, they're a relatively new thing, I think, degree apprenticeships. I remember when I said to my mum, I don't want to go to uni, she spoke to all of like my friends' mums and was like, oh my God, what's, like, is she, are you sure? Like, are you sure you don't want to go to uni? Go to uni, go to uni. But after she saw that that wasn't where my heart or my head was at, and she was like, kind of do what you want, figure out what you want, figure out where's good for you. And that's one big thing that we all did, is research, because that, you know, don't go to a company where you think, oh, you know, they're going to pay me more or whatever, because at the end of the day, it's where you're going to grow as a person, you know, be able to feel supported when you do your apprenticeship. Yeah.
I'd add as well, like, there's the whole thing about apprentices make tea and coffee and do your
Yeah.
cleaning. No, like, day one, you're valued. Like, that's one thing that I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be making the teas and getting the biscuits? Is that what I'm going to be doing? But like, from day one, I was valued. I was put on projects that were valued and that made a difference for the company. And being so young, I like to sit back and think, I've made value to a massive corporate company at the age of 23, and I think that's quite incredible to make such an impact. And yeah, it is scary being so young in a big corporate company, but like I'll preach this time and time again, the support that you're given by your managers or the recognition that you get along the way, you always get recognised, and you won't be doing the tea runs and you won't be doing the biscuit runs.
No, you will be thrown in there.
Depends, doing projects.
Day one.
It's not intimidating. It's
That did make me think of, though, I was thinking about the same as you, because we were talking about, oh, you do get a lot of support, but I don't ever feel singled out.
Or pressured. Like, if I don't
feel babysat.
No, I don't feel that way.
The trust is there.
Yeah, like, I think you can tell, you know, people, oh, I'm degree apprenticeship and I feel apprentice, you know, I get the reaction from people that they understand you're there for development. And
100%.
people will be there and help you with stuff, but you're not necessarily singled out, like you said, contributing to potentially big things. You're given trust from day one. It's not like, oh, you know, go easy on them. Of course, you know, don't terrify you. But yeah, there's a great balance there about where you fit in.
As well, I'd say to that is, it's great because at the end of the day, is you're getting all this experience and the trust at such a young age. It's an honour as well to be able to be like trusted these things, but don't feel like, oh no, like if I do something wrong, because we all do things wrong. Not everyone's perfect.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. And you make these mistakes and you learn from them.
Yeah.
And there's people there to be like, it's okay, don't worry. They're not going to throw you in the deep end and you delete everything and that's it. The world is like, oh no, like they know that things go wrong, so they're not going to throw you in the deep end until like you're 100% confident. Like I'm very. I don't come across shy, but I'm very sad. I have self-doubt, and my managers know that. And they put me in situations where I won't stress over it, and they know me, but they've been able to develop my confidence. And now I'm confident in what I do, and I do it every single day now, and I don't even think about it. It just comes naturally because I just do it all the time now, and it's just getting that confident, and that's what helps doing it time and time again. You fall, you get picked up, and you carry on, which is really good.
Absolutely. So obviously, everyone's chosen the apprenticeship path. And one of the very frequent questions that we get is the juggling, the time management. So, Raj, I'm going to start with you. How do you juggle? How do you manage your time? You know, the work, the day-to-day working, the social life, the apprenticeship work. How do you construct your time?
Good question. Coming out of sixth form, I think we've all been used to it where no matter if you get given a month, a week, you're always there on the last 2 days finishing your assignment. And I did kind of try and do that in the beginning, but it just didn't work out. And I started doing something that has a name, and it's called the Eisenhower Matrix. And what I love about this is nothing about tons of organisation. It's almost like what you need to do, you get it done, and what you don't need to do, you organise it afterwards. And the way it's set up is you have what's urgent and what's important, and then what's not urgent and what's not important. What's urgent and important, you do straight away. And it saved me a lot of time. Instead of kicking the can down the road, I was able to get those out the way and just have a little bit more time to have a breather, gather my thoughts, and then carry on with my other tasks. And I think that's what's worked for me. For other people, I've seen the calendars color-coded to the brim.
That's what I do.
It looks absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong. Proper Picasso work, however. I just think when I keep it simple, it works best for me.
Yeah. I actually learned about that in my apprenticeship. So
Yeah, that's how I found out afterwards.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
I'm doing that.
Love that. So what about you, Ella?
So I think definitely you have to sort your priorities out, what you want to, like Raj said, what you want to do most and what's most important. After a while, I started to go and see my friends at university, which probably reaffirmed that I'd made the right decision not going to university. Definitely. You sort of sort out what you want to do. You have the weekends, you have the evenings, and it is sort of, your friends will be back at summer and they'll have 10 weeks off, and you can see them and they'll go, oh, like, you working still? Yeah, but you're absolutely loving it at the same time. And it's just a sort of case of even coming into the office today, like going out for food after, or, sorting out, planning ahead, and that's definitely something that I've had to do more of, plan.
Yeah, what about you guys? How did you sort of manage that structure or juggle all of it?
I think I've always been an organised person.
Love that
so
for you.
the colour coding, my calendar is it's labelled and everything, so I know it. That I'm that type of person. I just love it. And what my habit is now is Monday to Friday evening, uni work, even if I'm putting in an hour or 2 hours or half an hour, just something after work, Monday to Thursday or Friday, and then I have the weekends free. So like Ella said, like when I had my friends at uni, or I had plans, I knew that weekend, that was my time, that was my space away from work, from uni, and I had that separation. I know some people have, teams on their phones. For me, I love the separation. It's once the laptops are closed from uni and work, that's me time, and that's how I really can relax. And I'm just going to a routine from that now, and it just works. And because I've done it from day one, it's just a habit now. It's not a task.
Oh, I wish I had that habit. I have some teams
so
on my
healthy.
phone.
I try.
I was going to say, I'll be like leaving work and teams will go ding, and I'm don't look at it, don't look at it.
It's just getting into that balance, and I think I actually went to university for a year before coming to Capgemini, and like Ella said, like I did it, like I saw my friends doing it as well, and after I was there for about a year, I knew I was like, this isn't the route for me. I was just doing a course that, it was a course that I couldn't see myself doing long term, and I don't think it was a waste of time. It made me realise that the practical element of apprenticeship is something that I probably would value the most. And it's just getting into a routine. I think, do it from day one, and then it's fixated then, and now I'm sorted now for the next 3 years I've got left. So
Yeah. What about you, Charlie?
Yeah, I think organising my time during the week, I think, is always a process. I think, your workload may change and stuff, and I wish I was super colourful.
I do like a webinar on it, like, guys, how we do it.
But
Whole masterclass.
That's the next one. But I think also something that does help is being really mindful of my time. Like, I think I appreciate it a lot more now, so I will make a lot more effort about on the weekends what I'm doing, plan, make the most of that time. Not necessarily packing it that I'm knackered on Sunday, but making the most of that time, I feel like helps with your drive and motivation, and when you've got annual leave, planning something for it. So I think the balance of organising your time and sort of having those boundaries, like you said, and then making the most time when you're off, and
There is also a massive apprentice community, which Amy actually organised a party for that I went to. Probably had a few too many vodkas. That was a Christmas party. So Cap throw so many socials everywhere, and there's things from like sewing and watching Great British Bake Off up to like, I don't know, beer and pizza. There's so many things which you can go to, which supports you again on that. Because you've not chosen uni, there's no stigma in that you can't socialise too. You can socialise after work, in work. I mean, in our offices, we have a foosball table, pool table, which is so fun.
Well.
There's ping pong.
We have
there's
Jenga.
Yeah, we have Jenga. We have
get very
Rubik's Cubes.
competitive.
Not that that's a game.
There was a Switch earlier as
There
well.
is,
There is a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
There's a
Okay.
Nintendo
We should-
Switch
we
with
should-
the controllers. Yeah.
That's what we're doing after.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
hard work.
Cap definitely support you and make sure that you are making friends, because obviously a lot of us as well do work from home, and that's quite a big aspect of our role as well.
I'd add to that as well that we have a great team at Capgemini that help with mental well-being. So in some of the offices, they do a group that do little 10K runs together, and we have a gym at some of the offices. Like, for example, I'd go to a class and do yoga and do some meditation in my lunch break, and it kind of breaks the day. So maybe if I'm having a stressful day, there's a team that can, you know, I can go do a workout, or I can join some guys that are going for a walk on their lunch break, and that's a massive thing as well. Like, if you're feeling a bit stressed, there's a team there that can.
We're going to work out together.
Yeah.
All of us. After this.
I think we do like a yoga session, Zumba, whatever it is.
You like Zumba, Raj?
Yeah.
Staring at a screen all day, you need some break away from it. Whether not always your lunch, you need 10 minutes, go out for a walk. And I've done it before when I'm coding or doing anything. And many people may know, putting a comma in the wrong place
Oh my gosh.
is the most annoying thing.
Don't.
I've gone away, I've come back, I've looked at the code, and it's that one comma.
Or semicolon.
Semicolon. And I'm looking at the syntax error, and it just says, there's a problem, can't tell you. But we know there's a problem.
This is too technical for me. I'm not getting the jokes.
No,
I don't know what that means.
No, I get it though.
I
get it.
I get it.
Everything's on point. If it's not, it's broke.
No, some of my friends do code, and this is like the main thing they bring up is there was an error. It took me 3 hours to figure out. All I had to do was press one button, and it was finished.
Yeah. Or you missed out a semicolon. You've just done something so.
I feel your pain. I know.
The techies.
I think in our team as well, we have like, I don't know if your guys' team have these, but we have daily check-ins. So it's literally 25 minutes, half an hour?
Minutes,
and you can go in and talk about work, but the focus normally isn't on work. Cause
you spend a good about 20 minutes, like, what did you do the night
Love
before?
Island.
How was your weekend?
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you think of Love Island? And
Personally, it's a bit more about the football, but...
Yeah.
What I really like about those stand-ups is the fact that everyone's all different ages.
Yeah, I was going to say that, yeah.
I have friends, you know, outside of work who are my sort of age, and then I could have a wide range of different people at work. And like, it's just great that you can chat to them about anything, and it's just open and understanding, and they learn stuff from you, and then people at work learn stuff from like, you know, vice versa, and I really I like that aspect of things.
Yeah. I think that's a benefit definitely from working from home, because if you come into the office, obviously you can see different people, but you don't necessarily know who they are. When you're on a meeting with them, you're kind of forced to talk to them, because there's nothing else to do, there's not a distraction, there's not a different table you can go and sit at. So I remember in my first week, Billyana does know this story, I ended up on a call with someone quite senior, and I thought I really embarrassed myself, and now he remembers me. Every time I walk in, I'm like, hi. I told him what I ordered from Zara, what I had for brunch that morning. Honestly, I was so embarrassed, but there's no sort of stigma of that you're an apprentice, so, you know, you're not gonna, you can't sit with us kind of thing. Like, there's nothing like that. You don't know who is an apprentice. There's mature apprentices. No one is sort of like looks down on you as like I say, you can't sit with us.
So we all know that tech tends to be male dominated, and within your team you're one of 2 women.
Yeah.
How does it feel? What's that like?
I think that I'm very lucky to say that there is a lot of women support, and it's quite inspiring. Like you said, it's very male dominant, but that taboo subject has been changing so much over the years, and now that we're getting more and more young females that want to get into the tech roles, and I do school talks to talk to young people, because, you know, they think that it's just a male job, but it's not at all. And we've got a great support at Capgemini for women in tech, and there's a whole community out there that, you know, is supported all through being a woman in a tech industry. I've never once come across any discrimination about being a woman in my role. And it's really exciting. Like, I love coding so much, but I also get the business aspect. Like Ella said, I managed to plan a social for over 100 people, and I had that, you know, split that I could do my day job and enjoy my techie side and being a woman in tech, but I also got to plan and run a party for over 100 people, which is really exciting. And that's another thing that Capgemini offer. There's the opportunities, there's endless amount of things to get yourself involved with, whether it be socials or being in this podcast or whatever it is. There's mountless things that you can get yourself involved in, which is
Absolutely.
really good, inspiring, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So since we're running out of time, let's wrap up and go around and say some of our misconceptions. So Raj, do you want to start us off? What was your misconception?
Coming out of sixth form, I'm coming out of an education environment into a working environment. So the first thing that came to my mind was that it's kind of, you get with the program, you do your work, and if you can't do it, tough. I couldn't be more wrong. Literally, I came into the job, and in some situations they do throw you in. They give you a good amount of time, but they tell you to do something, you've got to do it, and there's no like cushion. But if you voice that you can't do something or you need help, the support is all around you. Whether I need to take a course online, which I provided, or need to talk to someone, I can remember when I was doing a presentation for the first time, it was in front of 2 people, and I was so nervous, like I could be doing it in front of 1,000. And I'd done like 3 meetings with the other apprentices I was with, just practicing, and there's so much support available, you just gotta ask for it.
Absolutely. Ella?
One of my misconceptions probably was when I did my research, I loved everything about CAP. I knew CAP was the company for me. The one thing I was scared about was that I'm not that interested in, or sort of, I don't know anything about coding or software or Python or all of these technical terms. I don't know anything about them. My interest was more social, marketing, sort of keeping up to date with what trends are on LinkedIn and Glassdoor. And that the misconception for me was that to work for a tech company, you had to be interested in tech. What I realised was I do have an interest in tech, just not the coding aspect of it. My interest is the social media side of it. And, you know, my contributions matter just as much as someone else's do. It's just that we have different roles and work in different departments. And I really love it when you work together on a project with someone that maybe you don't work with in a normal day-to-day situation, and you collaborate.
Yeah, but that is what makes Capgemini.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different roles and everyone adds their bit to the company.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
I think I mentioned it before, but it was the biscuit run, the food run, the getting the cups of teas, that kind of thing. But I was like so wrong from that.
Yeah.
I just think it was more of a lack of understanding. So when I was at school, I didn't understand what an apprenticeship was. It wasn't really known as a bigger thing then. And now, like, I having the opportunity to go into school and educating like people in year 8, 9 and 10, like what an apprenticeship is. It's valuing them so they know what it is. And I think it's a big importance now that a lot more is educated around apprenticeships and other alternatives, because university isn't for everyone, and having that option now is fantastic. And now I'm in a role and I am valued, and the projects that I take part in are contributing to help people, then it's quite special, and I feel valued myself for being a part of that, which is really nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I think one of the main things, I sort of thought, I'll join a company, I'll have a bunch of colleagues, we'll get on and stuff. But I do have genuine friends, like specifically, like fellow apprentices who, are on the lectures together, and, you've got a question about something, like you can go to those people. And I think that is also nice that I've made friends, so much so that I think similar friends as if I'd actually gone to uni, just doing uni. So yeah, I think that's been
I love what you just said actually about friends. Like, you make friends for like you don't even expect that you're gonna make. Like, me and my friends, when I met at CAP like a year and a half ago, we went on holiday together last year, like a city break to Milan, and we're such good friends. And it's like that you could do that with, and you would never expect that coming in. And like you said, like you do that at uni. Yeah, exactly. Like it happens, and we can do that as and, when it's like it's nice, isn't it? Like you can have the opportunity to do that as well.
I love that. Well, thank you all so much. Unfortunately, that is all the time we get for today. Thank you so much to the guests, Ella, Raj, Amy, and Charlie. And what's the rest?
Thank you very much.
We hope you enjoyed the rest of the series.
See you in the next episode, because this was the first one. Yeah. All right, then. Unfortunately, this is all the time we get for today. Thank you so much to the guests, Ella, Raj, Amy, and Charlie. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.